The Nulane fraud and money laundering trial of Gupta associates enters its second last week. 6 people, including 3 former senior Free State officials, are accused of involvement in a corrupt tender worth 24.9 million rand. Moloko Moloto is at the High Court in Bloemfontein, where the trial continues today, and joins us for the very latest. Good morning, Moloko. So we're entering the second last week. What are we expecting today?
Good morning, Mfundo Mabalane. Indeed, this 6-week-long trial is increasingly edging closer to the finish line. Today, we are expecting that the lead investigator, this is Colonel Mandla Mtolo, who is attached to the Hawks, but he's been seconded to the NPA's investigating directorate. He's going to be taking to the witness stand on behalf of the state, and the expectation is that the state will continue to lead evidence, and certainly thereafter defense is going to be cross-examining him because he is a key man in as far as these investigations are concerned. He is the man who seized the documents which are up for a dispute now in court. These are documents which were allegedly signed by the 3 officials, these 3 key officials or former senior officials from the Department of Agriculture, and we know now that those documents are currently being disputed, in that the defense is saying these are not original documents and they want the computers from which they were printed to be mirror imaged, to be subject to some form of forensic analysis. And of course, that is an argument which the court said for now it is accepting those particular documents into the record. However, in as far as their authenticity, integrity and originality is concerned, that determination will be made by the court at a later stage. We also expect, Mfundo, that either today or tomorrow that there will be a trial within a trial. This is relating to the software or computer hard drive which the state wants to use, because there are emails that are contained in that particular hard drive, the so-called Gupta leaks, which, if allowed or if the court permit them to be presented as evidence before it, they are likely to unveil the interactions between the fugitive Guptas along with various people in terms of their business activities. Now, the defense last week, a week before, last Monday, I beg pardon, actually argued that those emails cannot be presented before court until there's a trial within the trial that is held. And the state had said that it wouldn't be held immediately. It will have to be held possibly this week.
Then there's a possibility of further delays then if we have that trial within a trial.
Well, the issue of delays is not only going to be anchored on the trial within the trial. Actually, already last week, the defense was arguing that they sense that the state is unlikely to call one witness, and that is likely to cause a delay. This is one Mr. Thomas Church, who is attached to a consultancy firm, Deloitte, the firm that was subcontracted by Nulane to do the due diligence on its behalf, and it was paid 1.5 million rand. Of course, we know that Nulane pocketed the remainder of the 24 million rand, and part of it found its way onto Island Side, a company owned by the Gupta brothers and their 2 wives. Now, the state said in court that if there's a delay, that would not be because of its making as the state, because Mr. Thomas Church, some few days back or last week, he was in court, he was ready to give his testimony, and it was the defense that argued that actually it also wants to apply for some form of a trial within a trial regarding that, and as a result he has had to be on standby. He never came to testify. The dilemma now is that Mr. Church has since left the country. He is working in Nigeria for Deloitte, and for him to come, as in like to say come immediately, may not logistically be possible. So those were the issues that the state was saying. If there's a delay in as far as Mr. Church's testimony is concerned, concerned, it doesn't have to take the blame. It was actually pointing the finger of blame towards the defense. But of course, in total, there's about 35 witnesses that have been lined up by the state. Some of them are yet to take to the witness stand. The most important one, Mfundo, I must say, is this one who will be continuing with the testimony, Colonel Mandla Mtolo, because it is his evidence, the way he also handled that evidence after he had acquired it, that is up for dispute. We have already heard defense accusing him of not handling those documents when he took them from Bloemfontein to Pretoria, because after removing them from a sealed bag that contained those particular documents, he did not seal it and he did not book it into the so-called SAPS 13 register according to the SAPS protocols. And he admitted that he didn't do that, and the defense was latching on that to say that you were careless and you have tampered with that particular evidence. So those are some of the arguments that we expect will play out throughout today and possibly tomorrow.
Perhaps just indulge us a little bit more on the admissibility of this evidence. What exactly do you say the judge said? That they will admit the evidence, the documents, but did she perhaps state that they will not place a lot of weight on the documents now, given that they're being disputed, or they will be treated as though they are not in dispute?
Oh, certainly these documents have been admitted onto the record, in that the judge has allowed the state and the witnesses to talk about this particular evidence, to interrogate them. So in other words, that business of the court is continuing. However, the judge has said, despite her admitting them as part of evidence, she is yet to determine the importance of the fact that they are not original, because indeed they are copies. Nobody knows where the original documents are, and that speaks to the department's inability to keep the records of important documents. Now, the judge is certainly going to consider the evidence that is being led in connection with these documents that she has accepted. However, she's saying as to whether she's going to, whichever side she rules, will be determined on her decision to accept them as original and authentic document, or even if they are not original, whether she will say, despite the fact that they are not original documents, they are legit, and the court will rule on the basis of that. But as of now, she has said she has accepted them for evidence to be led in court.